Meanwhile, music for it is quite nice. Make sure everyone can hear that properly. And hopefully still hear me. Alright. Just give this a couple more seconds and we'll get started. Watermelon bubbly. You can't get the cases of it off Amazon, but you can get like the 8 packs off Amazon Fresh. As long as I keep a supply of fizzy water, I'm all good. Alright. I think everything's recording properly and we can get started. Alright then, so hello everyone and happy Sunday. I'm Miss Rob, and when I'm not busy wondering where everything went wrong, as always, I play games. And today is Sunday, meaning it is Spoopy Games Sunday, and today we are going to be playing Monsters of Littlehaven. Now, I got this in a bundle off Steam from Missing Calm is the publisher. So, yeah, I have not played this. I have not tried this at all. This is going to be a blind playthrough, but it was listed as both visual novel and horror. So I say we get in, let's do it to it, shall we? Let's start.
Chapter Escape.
Oh, it's got voice acting. Chapter Escape.
When Kenneth left the house to find his sister, the sun was still just breaking through the thick clouds. Having circled the village of Littlehaven, Kenneth's voice was beginning to give out. Esme! Esme!
That's an old school name. I like it.
She wasn't even in their place under the big oak that stands in the middle of the wheat field near the house. Desperate, he sat under the oak tree for several hours until it began to drizzle. He turned around to the sound of wet footsteps behind him and saw Esme.
Bitch, where you been?
Kenneth was angry, but his sister's shabby appearance immediately softened his tone.
Oh. Wonder what happened.
Where have you been? I was looking all over for you. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Come on, the hurricane's coming. Kenneth took his sister's hand and led her toward the house. We are all wet. What happened? Oh, I was attacked by a monster. A monster?
Hold on. There we go.
I ran away from it and got lost.
Oh, everything's getting wavy. Is this a dream?
Well, now Mom and Dad will think that we ran away.
Is this exposition? I'm just wondering since everything is getting all wibbly wobbly.
I'm sorry.
If you run into the monster, give it a piece of my mind. No need to apologize, just don't do it again. Which choice should we pick? I don't know, I feel like I want to be soft with the no need to apologize, just don't do it again. But at the same time, it kind of gives the impression that dismisses the whole monster thing, versus if we run into the monster, I'll give it a piece of my mind. Saying that monster messed with his sister, he's gonna whoop his ass. So, give it a piece of my mind.
If we run into the monster, I'll give it a piece of my mind. It was very frightening.
Aww.
But you getting away already means you beat it.
Bright side.
Do you believe me?
Aww.
Kenneth gave his sister an approving nod to reassure her. Esme was soaking wet, and her small steps were accompanied by squelching sounds. Kenneth stopped and helped Esme pour the water out of her boots.
Oh, damn. Squishy.
How did you get so much water in there?
She went swimming?
I don't know. After wrapping her in his jacket, Kenneth rushed down the washed-away trail to the house. Thanks. The way home was riddled with fear of the impending punishment, along with squelching boot noises.
Boop.
Well, it's a good thing that Grandma doesn't know, or who knows what she might think up. I agree. Grandma always has some story in her head. "5 minutes late, and she already imagines a pack of angry dogs or bandits attacking you. Or that you tripped over a rock in the woods and fell unconscious, face first, into an anthill." This conversation lifted their spirits.
I would certainly hope so.
When is Grandma coming? Oh, I don't know. Probably whenever she and Dad make up.
Oh, one of those family relationships. Yeah, those can get messy. Oops.
Oh, I miss Grandma.
After you just talked about what a crazy bat she was? Fair.
A heavy silence fell, but it didn't last long. Do you remember Baloo? With those words, it was as if she had stabbed Kenneth between the ribs. He remembered.
What, a bear attack?
That was the name of the dog the Murphy family had buried a couple of years ago.
Ooh.
Kenneth was very fond of Baloo, and his death really hit him hard. And then, for a few months, he slept, hugging his old collar.
Aww.
At first, Kenneth could burst into tears at any time, so that even the other side of the pillow wasn't always dry.
Do we want to bring that up, or do we want to change the topic? But I'm wondering if our sister is bringing it up for a reason, so let's go with I remember.
Well, of course I remember. Will you give me his collar? It's just hanging on your backpack.
Aww.
No, and don't you dare touch it.
Aww. The scars of childhood loss.
At that moment, they had almost reached the plot, surrounded by a fence, looking fairly battered after all the years.
Reach the plot of the story or the plot of land? Or both. That was probably on purpose.
As soon as they crossed it, something frightened Esme. She froze, pointing her finger toward the shed at the pier. Oh, hear that? What? There's a monster!
Uh-oh.
Let's go home, or we'll get in trouble. As if she had heard something, Esme began to make a whining sound. Oh, it's going to be okay. Come on. But he will come at night.
Meaning the monster. Check the shed or hurry on home. We'll check the shed.
We'll make sure there aren't any monsters and go home, okay? Okay.
You gotta be a good big brother.
Kenneth took her hand and they went to the pier. Esme clutched Kenneth's hand, squeezing his palm. Even on the way to the shed, Esme was trying to look behind the half-open doors, which were moaning on the rusted hinges. In the half-light, it made tense even Kenneth. After approaching the shed, Kenneth opened the door in one motion, propped it with a stone, and then, with a bold gesture, invited Esme to come in. Oh, I'm scared. Thunder rumbled.
I'm sorry, it's hard to take the voice narrating this seriously. It sounds like an uncle trying to entertain bored children.
Oh, did you see that? Someone was there. Nobody's here. Come on. Why do you say that when you saw him yourself? You were looking right at him. Well, I saw, like, it must have been some kind of a shadow, like yours. Kenneth took control of the situation. He was fooling around. He went inside with swagger, demonstrating the absence of monster, although he doubted it himself. Not a soul. But the door was open. Oh, it's always open. Dad must have been in here recently. We'll close the door. Before Esme could answer, Kenneth took her in his arm and carried her out of the shed, knocking out the stone that held the door on the way. And then, for Esme's peace of mind, he slid back the loosened latch. Esme pressed herself against Kenneth's shoulder and whispered in his ear. Are you sure he won't come out?
Aww.
Kenneth played along. Of course. Have you seen how big the lock is? Esme had calmed down, but later added very quietly under her breath. I hope it's not too cold in there for him.
Don't want to deal with the monster. Don't want the monster to suffer. Walking that fine line. Okay.
On the doorstep, Kenneth met Mom and Dad. They were solemnly showing out a stranger in a formal outfit. As soon as he approached, the adults' conversation stopped.
Must have been a Coke deal.
Go up to your room, honey. I'll be right there. Satisfied that they had escaped punishment, Kenneth and Esme hurried up the stairs to their room. In the room, there was a glass of milk and a plate of pancakes on the table waiting for them.
Milk and pancakes? Ugh.
Kenneth took the wet jacket off Esme, rubbed her hair with a thin blanket, and sat her down at the table. Here, you should eat. Oh, thank you. They're quite cold, though. Do you want me to go downstairs and warm them up? Oh, no, they're delicious. Thanks. Don't go down there. Sit with me.
As someone with siblings, I'm calling bullshit. I don't know any siblings that are that nice to each other when they're that age. It doesn't happen. Usually we're looking out for ways to get each other in trouble, you know, taking turns kicking each other's asses when the adults aren't around, that sort of thing. So this whole being super nice to each other thing, it's not realistic. But so far, I think the game is adorable. I'm waiting for the spoopiness, though.
Kenneth was afraid of his parents' reaction to their escape. But everything was still quiet. Well, let's hang the wet dress up to dry. Oh, thanks.
Oh, look, she's in her jams.
Now go to bed. Kenneth covered his sister with a blanket and lay down on his bed. They were both staring blankly at the ceiling until Esme said, "Oh, I wish the monster was gone." "Oh, it's going to be okay. You need to sleep." "All right." Esme curled up into a ball and turned to the wall. There was an awkward knock at the door, followed by the equally awkward mother's tone. "Are you okay?" Kenneth looked at Esme. She was almost sleeping. "Yep." Behind his mother, he heard Father's quiet voice from downstairs. "Oh, don't wake him up." "Good night." The door closed.
So parents' names are Brenda and Bram. Okay.
Esme rustled in bed and turned to Kenneth.
So it makes sense that, you know, the only non-posh, unique name or unique full-on spelling of it would be Brenda. I mean, Kenneth, it's not Kenny, it's Kenneth. And Esme, I mean, that's kind of an old school name. And then you've got Bram for your dad. That's kind of dope.
Why didn't they scold us?
Because they're not your parents anymore, kid.
I don't know.
Because they were grateful that you were out of the house.
It seemed that Esme had fallen asleep.
Oh, good.
He heard his parents talking softly downstairs.
Time to eavesdrop.
Then he heard cabinet doors opening and a kind of softly tinkling.
Uh-oh, someone pouring a drink downstairs? Or are they loading their bong?
It became more quiet.
Bong. If you drink, you get loud. If you smoke, you pass out on the sofa.
Kenneth was sleepy. He overheard the room door creaking.
Stranger danger?
Kenneth pretended to be asleep. A beam of light spilled onto his bed from the half-open door. A moment later, the door closed gently.
I wanted to make sure your badasses were still in bed.
Kenneth fell asleep. thunder rumbled. As Kenneth opened his eyes a little, he flinched to the wall out of fright as he saw Esme's shadow in front of him in the light of the lightning flash.
Like full-on shadow, like she was sitting up?
She was sitting on the bed, terrified, with her knees pressed to her chest.
Okay, so yeah.
The door to the room was open. Kenneth ran to her and knelt beside her. "What's the matter? Are you afraid of the thunder?"
No, she keeps talking about monsters.
"Oh, there was a monster looking for something."
Children to eat?
Kenneth was confused, feeling helpless because of his sister's behavior. Usually, stories about the monster didn't go this far. "Well, what was the monster looking for?" "Oh, for me, of course. But I hid like this." She demonstrated, covering her eyes with her palms.
You not see me. That's classic.
"Even being this close, he didn't see me. What a stupid fool. Searched through the nightstands, the closet, under the bed, as if I could fit in there." "You want me to call Mom and Dad?"
Because it sounds more like a burglar who is just glad you didn't scream.
"Oh no, don't." Kenneth noticed a puddle on the sheet under Esme and read shame in her eyes.
Oh, we got a bedwetter.
Pretending there was nothing there, he moved her to his bed.
Aw, such a good big brother.
"Why didn't you call the parents?" "Oh, I was scared. You and I are already in trouble." "And what happened next?" "Oh, at some point, he leaned over you as if he wanted to bite off half of your face with his big, toothy jaws. Or to kiss you, ha ha." "Yes?" "Well, I didn't see. He attacked me differently." So your monster wants to give me a kiss, but attacks you?" "I wonder what new notes are you going to add to your diary about the monster?" Esme became upset. Kenneth gave up. He just sat there for a while, waiting for what came next. Esme ran to her bed, lifted the corner of the mattress briskly, took out her diary, and put it in Kenneth's hands, as if trying to convince him of something.
It's all in the notes.
Kenneth knew about the diary, but Esme always kept it to herself.
But as a sibling, he would have read it cover to cover, announced it loudly, and completely humiliated her about it, because that's siblings. No boundaries.
The book looked worn out, and at the same time, girly neat. Kenneth carefully held the diary in his hands, appreciating Esme's trust.
Aww.
"A bow knot. Well done," Kenneth thought, keeping all jokes to himself for the time being.
Don't be a dick.
"Oh, read." "Maybe later?"
It's her monster dissertation. It needs to be reviewed.
He put the diary on his nightstand. "Oh, you won't laugh, will you?" Esme asked, as if she regretted giving away her personal diary.
As you should. Instant regret.
"Oh, of course not." "And don't tell anyone." Esme sat in front of Kenneth with glowing eyes and seemed not to even think about going to sleep.
Glowing eyes. She's the monster
While
now.
Kenneth was wondering how to calm Esme down, she continued the conversation first. Why, have you ever seen it? Oh, the monster? Yep.
If I put no, never, she's gonna feel discouraged. But we'll go with maybe I'm not sure. We're gonna humor her. We're gonna do that because we want to be soft. We want to be a good big brother.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. Honestly, what is it like? Big and scary? Oh, that's it. Why doesn't anyone believe me? I really did see it.
Because you need to be put on medication, kid. That's why. Do I put I believe you, or they don't believe you because they haven't seen it? We'll just tell her that we believe her. Because, you know, if you go into the whole, they haven't seen it, like, it turns into a whole, well, we gotta go capture it then. So we're just gonna take the soft approach and go, I believe you.
Well, I believe you. Chapter Monster.
Next chapter, finally.
Thunder rumbled.
I'm sorry, I can't take that voice seriously.
Oh, let's kill the monster.
Alright, so Esme doesn't fuck around.
Esme grabbed Kenneth by the arm, causing her pajamas to roll up, exposing her bruised wrists.
Wait, hold up.
Oh, he'll catch me again. For a moment, Kenneth believed in the monster, but he doubted again, remembering that her bruises were due to a lack of vitamins.
Lack of vitamins will make you bruise easily, but they don't put the bruises there. As someone who's on supplements because I've got paper thin blood and skin the color of plain yogurt, that's not how that shit works.
Their parents thought it was genetic, so they stuffed Esme with nasty fish oil and greens. Well, did you see it again? Oh, it's at the pier. Oh, we already checked it, and no one was there. Oh, I saw it out the window. It's there again. Come quickly. You're not afraid to go? But you promised to give it a piece of your mind.
That's true. And she did just announce that they should kill the monster, so I think she's hit the whole, you know what, I'm done with it.
Okay, but we need to be prepared.
Time to put all your marbles in your hollow wiffle bat.
Kenneth had a certain quality. If he was going to do something, he took it seriously.
Quarters in a sock.
He went unhesitatingly toward the closet to dress Esme in her warm clothes before going and opened the doors. After seeing the number of varieties of girlish clothes, he momentarily froze, bound by the thought process.
Too real.
Then he turned to Esme with the most serious expression. Dress warmly. How does Mom dress you? He took the backpack with Baloo's collar. A Swiss Army knife was hanging next to it. Then he rushed to his nightstand and took out a flashlight that he almost forgot. He put on an old knitted sweater and stood by the door, waiting for Esme. For a moment, Esme froze, staring into the back of the closet.
She seeing shit?
Thunder rumbled. Are you okay? Esme slowly turned her head to Kenneth.
I've got nothing to wear.
A jacket with pockets or a blue sweater?
Pockets.
Kenneth exhaled, rolling his eyes, expressing indifference to girlish fashion, and defiantly stretched his hands, pointing to the door. Esme looked at the nightstand where her diary was. Oh, you won't leave it like that, will you? Oh, of course not. He put the diary in his backpack and, taking Esme by the hand, slipped quietly down the stairs. In their parents' room, the TV was mumbling unintelligible. It was the only source of light, so it was easy to sneak past it. When they found themselves on the street, it seemed that half the battle was over. Ahead, there was only adventurous excitement and the fear of being caught and punished.
So they just snuck out the house like it ain't no thing, and they're going down to the pier in the middle of a storm to confront a monster.
Shh! Quietly! Creeping up to the flower garden, Kenneth took on the role of a monster hunter. He put an open backpack near the pile of stones and gestured to Esme to help him put them inside.
You know, whack the monster in the face with a backpack full of stones. That would be some gangsta shit. Come on. Oh, just click it. Story time. I actually kind of did something similar with my older sister, but I'm just talking about the backpack and it being loaded. My sister is 3 years older than me, and this boy at summer camp that was harassing her was a year older than her. So we have a big kid who's 4 years older than me harassing my sister, and without even thinking about it, I ran up to him and slapped him in the face with my duffel bag. My family swears to this day I had roller skates in said duffel bag. My reasoning is there were no roller skates in that duffel bag because all he did was cry. He did not bleed. His nose wasn't broken because I just swung my little arm and got him square in the face. If there had been roller skates in that backpack, that would have been a broken nose. His nose wasn't broken, just his pride.
The backpack was getting heavy. Oh, that will do. Well, let's go. Esme called Kenneth unexpectedly loudly, forcing him to duck.
Shut up!
Shh! What's the matter? Esme put a couple of stones in a large pocket of her sweater. The silhouettes of every bush or tree in the distance began to come to life. A shiver ran down Kenneth's spine. The determination Kenneth had a few minutes ago was rapidly leaving him. His father's building was shrouded in the fog, giving weight to the beam of the flashlight.
Dun 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 dun.
The hinges of the old door were so loosened that even the locked latch did not prevent it from giving off a terrible creak, especially now in the night. As they unlocked the latch, the wind blew out from over the water, and the doors banged open, throwing Esme and Kenneth away on the ground. Junk from the shelves rolled to the ground.
They got smacked over by a door.
On impact, Kenneth with Esme fell down, dropping the flashlight, the only light source.
Whoops.
A noise came from the shed. Oh, the monster's here!
Well, time to fuck it up.
Kenneth looked up and saw with his own eyes the lights burning from the depths of the shed. Oh, let him have it! First went the collected stones that flew right between the burning eyes. After that went any junk falling from the rack, some cans and tools and bundles.
So, you just fucking up your dad's shed?
Thunder rumbled.
I have to do my best not to laugh every time the narrator says that. I can't take that seriously.
The silhouette disappeared along with the fog. Kenneth grabbed Esme's hand and ran out of the shed. Oh, did you see that? Well, of course. How could I not? And you didn't believe me.
Oh. No, he didn't, sweetheart. He didn't believe you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Esme looked down to the ground as if she was holding something back.
Either tears or a fist for her brother's face.
What's the matter? It wasn't that monster. What do you mean by that? He's not alone? Oh, this one was different. The conversation was interrupted by a bright flash of light in their faces.
Uh-oh, busted.
A moment later, the beam from the flashlight fell to their feet. Their drunken father was in front of Kenneth with a rifle and the flashlight, which Kenneth had just dropped.
Dad's drunken with a rifle. That bodes well.
Oh, what are you doing out here? Oh, what a mess!
If we start with the we didn't mean to, he's going to cut it off. If we say we saw a monster, he's not going to believe us and he'll be like, yeah, just go to bed.
Oh, there's a monster in the shed. Because of this, you made this havoc?
Monsters can be in the shed, just don't throw and smash everything in the shed.
You just scared that thing off.
So our dad keeps it real, apparently.
Now go home now, or I'll make you clean all that up. Kenneth hugged Esme and sent her forward to protect her from Father's anger. While passing the flower bed, Esme correctly noted its state. Oh, Mom will kill us.
You fucked up the flower bed and the shed. Your dad wasn't even fazed by the whole we saw a monster thing. He's just like, you guys made a mess, go to bed.
Oh, we'll explain everything.
Just say monsters.
Oh, wait. Esme stopped suddenly and pulled Kenneth's sleeve. Where's my diary?
Did it fall out of his backpack?
Esme showed her backpack. It was open.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I have it. It was here somewhere.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we lost it at the pier.
Should have left it in the house.
But Dad is there. We can't go back. He told us to go home. We have to get the diary.
It's her monster dissertation. She needs it for peer review.
I entrusted it to you. You can't do this.
You are the one that told him to bring it. You couldn't just let him leave it at the house.
Something dark and large swept through the bushes in the garden, mowing over some branches and flowers. Kenneth jumped aside in fright, but Esme seemed glad. Oh, it's Shadow. He'll help us. Oh,
My thoughts exactly.
a shadow. Kenneth defiantly rolled his eyes, demanding an explanation. Oh, he's nice. He'll help us. Let's go get the diary back. Well, what is that shadow? How many more monsters do we have around? Well, he's not a monster.
Technically, a shadow isn't a monster.
I mean, well, I was afraid of him too. But he helped me many times hide from the other monsters. Kenneth looked around nervously. Oh, where did he go? Well, don't you see him? A large silhouette had grown behind Esme, resembling something between thick fog and light-absorbing darkness. Kenneth stepped back, pointing at the creature behind Esme. Oh, no, don't be afraid.
Just welcome the darkness and everything will be okay.
Thick darkness came upon Esme, slowly swallowing her from head to toe until there was only a hand outstretched to Kenneth.
Well, at that point, just fling yourself in the darkness.
Oh, come quickly. He will help us. Esme grabbed Kenneth's arm and dragged him into the darkness. Kenneth clutched his head and closed his eyes briefly, but then he saw Esme beside him. As long as we're inside, no one will see us.
Ninja mode activate.
Kenneth and Esme headed for the pier, along the bushes at the edge of the plot. Despite the lost diary, Esme was pleased with what was happening.
Travel by shadow.
Well, I'm glad you believed me. Now I can tell you everything. Well, like what? Later. When they reached the pier, Kenneth saw his father sorting out the debris in the shed that he and Esme had made. The shed door was open. The diary was right in front of it.
Ooh.
Kenneth left Esme behind. He decided to sneak in and get the book alone. Of course, with the help of Shadow.
So he doesn't get his ass beat by his dad.
He will help you.
So you said.
Kenneth crept to the door and hid behind it. Then he reached for the diary. Suddenly, he heard his father's steps. He was holding a kerosene lamp.
Oh shit. Flammable.
The light from the lamp shone in the doorway. Shadow began to sizzle like on a frying pan, but kept the darkness.
Aw, Shadow's getting hurt.
Kenneth grabbed the diary and ran headlong toward the house, bringing Esme with him.
Sorry, we gotta go.
Oh, it worked! I got it! I got it! Shadow was incredible. They were already near the house under the kitchen windows when the light turned on suddenly and with the sound of hissing oil dissolved Kenneth's new friend.
Aw. As the light hurt Shadow.
Kenneth and Esme ducked down. In the window, they could see their mother looking in the direction of the pier. Kenneth and Esme whispered, "Oh, is he dead?" "No, he will come back, as always. He just doesn't like the bright light."
Well, yeah, because it sizzles his darkness. Of course Shadow doesn't like it.
Does it hurt?"
You heard it sizzle.
Esme shrugged.
These children are hunting monsters and just completely apathetic to the pain of the shadow creatures that are helping them. Okay. Children still being children.
Probably not. Why else would he come back every time? Well, let's go inside.
The house?
Well, let's take a walk.
No! You trying to get your ass beat by your parents? No. What if Mom gets worried just for a bit? I mean, we're already in trouble. But does Mom even know we're gone, or was she just waiting for her drunk ass husband to get back? That's for a bit.
Oh, just for a bit. Now, you see everything too. I have so much to tell you.
And for a penny and for a pound.
You mean monsters?
And Shadow, and all the other things that go boop and spook in the night.
Not all of them are monsters. I mean, they're not all evil. Now, don't tell me you're friends with them.
It makes her imaginary tea parties more interesting.
Well, they're my only friends.
No one wants to be friends with the weird kid who sees monsters.
Kenneth made an indignant face.
Well, I'm your friend. It's not the same, dude.
Why, besides you, you're my brother. It doesn't count. Have you ever heard Mom sing? I can't remember. Probably when I was little. Her voice is wonderful.
Oh.
Esme grabbed Kenneth's arm and led him into the backyard. Listen. Quiet melodies were trailing over from the old well's direction.
It's not coming from the house, it's coming from the old well. Either something singing in the well or she's singing to the well.
Oh, is it really Mom? Could have been Mom. That is her monster. Now you can see it. Oh, I don't like this anymore. What kind of monster sings in Mom's voice?
That kind that mimic and then eat you?
He's not evil. Probably.
That's a big probably. Especially with one with mimicry.
He told me that a long time ago, before we were born, she had had a beautiful voice. She loved to sing.
And then she had children and her spirit was broken.
But later, she gave up on singing, and that's when he appeared. That monster. Well, did he take Mom's voice? Let's throw some stones at him. Kenneth showed Esme his backpack. There were some stones left from the hunt for the first monster. Oh, he said that he hadn't done anything wrong, that Mom raised him herself. Does Mom see monsters? I don't know. But she doesn't see this one, and it makes him sad. She likes her voice very much. They heard the creaking of the closing door of the shed on the pier, and then steps.
Someone's getting their ass beat.
Kenneth and Esme ran to the corner of the house and saw their father coming. Do you remember Dad smiling? Nope, he's always serious.
That's because he had kids and it crushed his life.
Sometimes he smiles when he sleeps, when mate comes to him.
When mate comes to him, he smiles in his sleep. I'm not touching that one.
Mate. You remember when Dad told you about his childhood friend he grew up with? His friend was shot in the war, and Dad survived. Oh, you mean Philip? You called Dad's dead friend's monster mate? Esme looked at the floor guiltily. He just has a very kind smile. Well, you can't. Who would call monsters by name? Monster Philip. Very funny. And he likes being called mate. At least he didn't mind.
How are you, mate? What's the crack? Maybe that's why. Maybe Philip from the war, or rather the monster that appeared from Philip in the war, maybe he was from across the pond.
How about we give your monster a name?
And this is when he found out he had his own personal monster, and not a Pokemon.
Well, my monster.
Surprise!
The one in the shed. I'm confused.
Yes, please explain for the rest of the class.
He didn't look like mine. Have you seen the monster in the shed?
Yeah, we just pelted it with rocks.
I don't know. I didn't get a good look. We scared your monster because of me. What if he's not evil?
Well, getting pelted with rocks will make him evil.
Well, maybe it wasn't a monster at all.
Maybe you guys just fucked up a shed.
I'm tired. Let's go home. No way. You saw Shadow. You heard Mom's monster. You want to leave me again?
No, he wants to go to bed. He wants to go to sleep.
Esme ran toward the old well.
Bitch, you better not fall down that well.
A wolf or a dog. Kenneth ran after her. My monster looked like a wolf or a dog. Esme stopped at the well. I know, I saw him.
Oh, don't tell me that's really gonna be the ghost of Baloo, that dog whose collar he was carrying around. His childhood dog.
I wanted you to come clean.
And they're having this conversation at like 2 a.m.
Everyone pretends not to see their own monsters, even if monsters are standing right in front of them. They don't believe me. They think I'm stupid.
No, sweetie, they think you're crazy and need medication. No one thinks you're stupid. I barely believe it myself. This is just a blanket, like the first one, the no one thinks you were stupid. That's just a blanket, patronizing, dismissive comment. We're going to go with I barely believe it myself. We're going to keep the dialogue kind of real, relative.
I barely believe in it myself. Chapter Esme. Esme picked up a small pebble, leaned over the well, threw it there, and whispered something. What are you doing? Nothing.
Bullshit.
How can you not believe yourself? Well, sometimes it is hard to believe, even in the most ordinary things. I feel like I'm sleeping now. What do you want to see to believe?
What do you want to see to believe? Not quite sure I get that question.
As soon as Esme finished the sentence, they heard a terrifying hubbub below.
From the well where she just dropped the rock to antagonize the well monster?
The ground trembled under their feet.
Earthquake?
Kenneth pulled Esme closer to him, trying to hide her from the coming uncertainty.
Aww.
Oh, you know what this is? An evil grin appeared on Esme's face. I just want you to believe me.
Oh, so she's getting the well monster to rock the ground to mess with her brother.
A pillar of living darkness rushed from the well, eclipsing the sky.
Oh, for shit's sake.
Old masonry succumbed to the pressure of the unknown and fell to the ground in pieces.
So you fucked up the shed, and now your dad's gonna find you to have messed up the well.
Kenneth pulled Esme closer to the ground and covered her. A horrific scream was spreading throughout the neighborhood. What's this? Look!
Don't like that smile. Do not like that smile.
Kenneth was looking up at the seemingly endless stream of darkness until he saw the silhouettes of ravens. Kenneth was terrified. Esme jumped up and stood with her back to the well. What's happening? Kenneth got up but was afraid to come closer. It seemed to Kenneth that Esme's eyes were filled with fire.
Oh, great. Our sister's possessed.
You know everything.
Not digging this.
What do you mean? What is this all about? You could have prevented it if you believed me. It's not my fault.
Dude, he came out and threw rocks at a monster and, like, was keeping it real with you.
No, no, no. Esme waved her hand, and a pillar of ravens immediately repeated her gesture, knocking Kenneth off his feet. as if she was in complete control of them. Kenneth was flung a couple of meters to the side.
Jeez.
All you had to do was trust me, just for once.
So our little sister is snapping. Awesome.
After leaving the well, the ravens flew into the sky and began to circle around the Murphy family plot.
Oh yeah, they're circling the plot all right.
Sorry! What difference does it make now? It's too late. Why is it late? What can I do to make you forgive me?
Sniveling.
Come to me. Kenneth walked over to Esme, standing on the edge of the well. Stand beside me. Oh, it's dangerous. Get off. Esme got angry. Trust me just for once. Kenneth climbed to the edge of the old well and took Esme's hand.
Like, trust me just for once. It's like, little girl. He ignored the fact that you wet your bed, went outside with you, threw rocks and trash to shed for you, went on a walk when you're supposed to sneak back in the house. Like,
What's next? Don't you understand anything?
no.
Kenneth decided to bring the situation under control, seized Esme, and tried to get down from the flimsy masonry of the well. However, once he tried to move, he froze in the air. Kenneth couldn't move a finger. Esme giggled. What is happening? I'm not doing anything. It's all your fault. Esme recoiled from Kenneth, who was stuck in the air between the well and the ground. Let me go! I said I was sorry! How did you do it? Esme defiantly rolled her eyes. I'm telling you, I have nothing to do with it.
After sitting there and stunting and bullying him, nothing to do with it whatsoever.
What do you want? Esme waved her hand toward Kenneth, who was carried back to the edge of the well. What if I told you Baloo was alive?
Do you mean his monster's alive? Is that what you're gonna say next?
Would you believe me?
That's why she wanted the collar.
Enough! Here we go again. I'm such a little girl. This is all my fantasy, right? Kenneth got angry and couldn't help himself.
Of course.
Yes! Esme sadly moved her gaze to the floor. I'm sorry. He tried to approach Esme again, but something held him back. I just saw his grave. You say bad things. You hear that? Somewhere in the distance, he heard Baloo's barking. Kenneth froze, numb from head to toe.
It's your dog, dude.
Are you still in doubt?
It could just be the mimic monster getting ready to eat you. So,
It was definitely Baloo's barking. Kenneth could not have confused it with anything else. Kenneth fell to his knees, clutching his head, trying to drown out the soul-rending barking. Esme's face changed.
is she possessed?
I'm sorry, brother. Come on. I just wanted to teach you a lesson. I thought it would be fun.
Too far.
Look, he's coming this way. Kenneth didn't know what to expect from Esme, but he was tired of what was happening, so he just watched.
So he just gave up.
See him? It was dark. Kenneth couldn't see anything. Don't scare him off. He's just afraid of monsters.
Okay, so either that's me enough and we demand she stop messing with us, or how did he get here? So, do we scold her or do we go along with it? I'm just gonna say enough, just because after all that trolling she did and holding us in the air and the ravens and everything, but at the same time, you want this boy to be reunited with his dog. So I want to scold her, but instead we're gonna go with how did he get here?
Well, how did it end up here? Show him the collar. Esme, please. Just trust me.
Once again, we're back to the whole issue of trusting our sister.
Well, that's enough. This is his grave. Kenneth pointed to a rickety hill with a small cross he had made himself.
Oh,
No one is there. See for yourself. With excitement, Esme fell on her knees beside the grave and began to scatter stones with earth to the side.
and to scatter stones with earth to the side, okay?
Stop it!
Desecrate that grave.
Kenneth rushed to Esme's side, but it was too late. When he came up, Baloo's grave had been excavated.
Apparently you guys didn't bury him too deep.
What? What? But he was here.
He was supposed to be riding corpse.
I told you. He just ran away. There was a noise from the side of the bushes, revealing someone's presence. Take off the collar. Show it to him. Kenneth awkwardly unhooked the collar from his backpack and clutched it in his hand, staring into the darkness.
He doesn't want to give up the collar in case it disappears.
Don't be afraid. Give it to him. Kenneth knelt down and gently moved his hand with the collar towards the bushes. It became quiet. Nothing happened. Kenneth turned his head to Esme, giving her a questioning look. Wait, he's just scared. Suddenly, out of the darkness, he heard leaves rustling and stomping of the dog's paws. Kenneth got knocked down.
Doggy?
It was Baloo.
Doggy!
Baloo! Baloo! Kenneth was filled with tears of joy. Baloo threw him on his back and licked his face, wagging his tail. Oh, stop it, Baloo! Kenneth got to his feet, picking up the fallen collar. He tried to put it around Baloo's neck, but he was jumping around Kenneth as hard as he could. Hold him! Hold him! Let's put the collar on! After they managed to put the collar on Baloo, the three of them sat down on the ground. Well, I'm sorry I didn't believe you. I'm not upset anymore.
Well, after you got done bullying him with your psychic abilities and then reuniting him with his dog.
It was dawning.
Dawn of a new day. You got your dog back.
Kenneth couldn't stop looking at Baloo. Oh, you must be very hungry. Let's go inside. We have to show you to Mom. The noise came from the side of the pier. Now, Baloo will help us. Come, quickly. Esme and Kenneth walked carefully to the entrance of the shed. Near the wound-up boat sat, crouching, a huge, hunched monster, like a locust, and it was looking for something in the water. Kenneth, standing behind him, was holding Baloo in his arms, who was growling softly at the monster, but the noise of the running engine was muffling it. Hey, monster, look who we brought! The monster began to turn slowly. Kenneth caught his breath. The monster noticed Baloo in Kenneth's arms, let out an animal cry, and backed away, falling directly on the blades of the wound-up boat.
Splatter?
Kenneth and Esme were splattered with the viscous, dark contents of a once powerful monster.
Well, now it's bath time.
Oh, good boy, Baloo.
She's looking a little creepy with those eyes.
Mother and the people behind her, in police uniforms, ran to the noise near the shed. As soon as they saw the pier, they froze with terror in their eyes. One of the younger policemen ran out of the shed. There was the sound of his stomach emptying. Others just wrinkled their faces and covered noses with their hands. Kenneth, put that on the floor.
Meaning the dead dog, I'm guessing.
Mom, Esme and I found Baloo.
Ooh, yep. Dead dog.
He helped us scare the monster that had attacked her.
Oh.
Let go of Baloo. Brenda walked over to Kenneth and helped him to put the fetid body of Baloo on the ground, and then took him to the door and closed it so that he would no longer look at the pier.
Was that our dad we just put into the blades of a boat?
Mom, I got worms crawling all over my hands. Kenneth cried. It's okay. Let's shake your hands.
Shake it out. Shake out the worms.
Brenda was trying to calm Kenneth and herself, despite what she just saw. Police radios were buzzing. Where's Esme? Where was Baloo taken to? Get Dad to send everyone away. Brenda began to cry. The police cars and the ambulance gathered around the plot of the Murphy family.
Oh.
Ни завтра, ни сегодня, никогда. Так выпало, и с этим не поспоришь.
Okay, so that did not go the way I was expecting it to go. I'm still very much glad that I'm still very much glad that I played it. So I'm wondering if sister was dead, if it's all in his head, if it was his dad he put in the boat propeller while holding his dead dog while hallucinating about his sister. So I'm not quite sure, so I'm just gonna wait until the credits are done and see what happens. Completed endings 1 of 8. So I guess maybe we shouldn't listen to our sister. This possible figment of our head. Oh yeah, okay, so chapters escape, we can go with monster or something else, and for the monster we can go with either Esme or something else. So we're gonna go back to the chapter that's monster.
Chapter monster.
And we're gonna sit there and try to pick the other choice if we can, if it's not too late.
Oh, what are you doing out here? Oh.
We didn't mean to?
Oh, we didn't mean to. I was playing with Esme.
Okay. Playing with Esme.
Oh, with Esme? What kind of games? It's dangerous. Go home now.
Okay.
Graham was looking for something in the dark near the shed. Kenneth hugged Esme and sent her forward to protect her from Father's anger. While passing the flower bed, Esme correctly noted its state. Oh, Mom will kill us.
But why is she smiling?
Oh, we'll explain everything. Oh, wait. Esme stopped suddenly and pulled Kenneth's sleeve. Where's my diary? Esme showed her backpack. It was opened.
We're just gonna fast forward to the next choice. For the next part of the dialogue tree.
Well, let's take a walk.
So taking a walk, and that's when the whole thing with Blue and the ravens out of the well. So we're gonna say, what if Mom gets worried?
Well, what if Mom gets worried? Oh, I don't want Mom to worry. But I don't want to go home yet. As soon as I fall asleep, the monster comes. Oh, I can protect you.
Aww.
Well, let's walk a bit more, please. I have so much to tell you. Well, you can tell me everything at home. Oh, you won't believe it. I have to show you. Have you ever heard Mom sing?
It's,
I can't remember. Probably when I was little.
so I guess either way, you're forced to go on the walk around the property with Esme.
They don't believe me. They think I'm stupid.
So instead of I barely believe it, I'm just gonna put no one thinks you're stupid.
No one thinks you're stupid. Chapter Carrie.
Okay, so instead of saying I hardly believe in all that drama, just simply saying no one thinks you're stupid and lock the chapter Carrie.
Esme climbed to the edge of the well and began to walk back and forth, swaying ostentatiously.
You're gonna wind up in that well, Missy.
Well, get off now. It's dangerous. So what? You might fall down. Isn't it enough? Esme got down and sat on the edge of the well. I'm sorry. Are you sure no one thinks I'm stupid? I'm sure.
Good.
But they said hurtful things. Well, that's not what they meant. You're always ready to move mountains, but sometimes you're like that. You walk on the edge. No hard feelings. I don't. I just feel offended sometimes.
Use your words and not a cloud of ravens.
But I know they're just not ready to see what's around them.
There you go. Take a more mature approach.
And if they don't try to run away from their monsters, they won't be able to speak again. Shall I be able to speak again? I don't know. We never found out what kind of monster you have. Well, how do we find out? We need to ask the other monsters. Oh, I don't really like the idea. With a loud noise, the well suddenly became wider.
Did the well just open up? The stairs?
As Kenneth and Esme ran to the edge, a beam of light hit them from the well. Covering his eyes with his hands to get used to the light, Kenneth looked at the bottom of the well. Some silhouettes were flashing inside.
Party in the well.
Kenneth recoiled from the edge. What's happening? I'll introduce you to everyone.
That ain't good.
A spiral staircase began to grow, protruding from the old masonry, from the bottom of the well.
Yep. Staircase.
Esme climbed to the edge again and held out her hand to Kenneth. Aren't you scared? I've seen it all before, and you will. What for? What's in there?
I have such sights to show you.
It's a surprise.
Oh, yeah. That's not ominous. Not in the least.
The sound of muffled voices and birds singing was coming from below.
Wonderland?
Oh, does anyone else know about this place? Nope. Kenneth grew nervous. Why do we go there? Whose are those voices? You won't believe me anyway. The ground trembled under their feet. A mechanical noise began to come from the well.
Elevator?
Oh, the entrance is closing. Come, quickly.
To Wonderland.
They'll be offended if we don't go. Esme got angry. The ground trembled even harder.
We're gonna miss the party.
The beam of light coming from the well narrowed. Otherwise, I'll go alone.
Well, let's go into the
At
well.
the last moment, Kenneth ran into the well after Esme. They both rolled down the stairs.
Owie.
Flying over it about a dozen meters down, they rolled into a small opening at the bottom, resembling a door, where the light came from. Once outside, Kenneth was blinded by the bright sun. When he woke up, he saw that he was on the shore of what seemed to be an endless lake, covered with fog.
Welcome to the afterlife, kid.
Kenneth jumped up and discovered that Esme had disappeared. Behind a huge cliff. That's where he fell from. There was a closed door at the top of the cliff. There were no ceilings, no walls. Kenneth turned to the lake and noticed a rowboat on the shore. Esme was in it. Esme, you okay? He stumbled several times while running to her, but still ended up in the same boat. Esme hugged Kenneth tightly, as if she hadn't seen him in quite a while. Oh, what happened? Did you see the monsters? Oh, I'm glad you're here. I mean, I'm glad to see you, but not that you're here.
Yeah, this is the afterlife. You did.
Esme was embarrassed. Sorry.
Yeah, you're dead. You gotta be.
Well, we fell here together. I followed you. Oh, what do you mean? I was here before you came. What? What are you talking about? We went after monsters together. But you don't remember anything after the fall? There are no monsters here.
'Cause you did.
And I didn't fall. I was just waiting for you here.
So either that was a monster disguised as her to kill you, or you were just following a ghost. Which one?
I don't understand. You'll get used to it. Sit down. Take the oars. Oh, where are we? Soon you will see. Just row. But where? Well, there's nothing ahead. If you turn around, you won't see anything either. Does it mean nothing was there? Kenneth was confused, but for some reason he was feeling calmness that gave him the strength to row into the unknown. I missed you.
Yep, ghost.
Oh, we haven't seen each other, but not for long. Time goes on in its own way here. Sometimes it seems to run forward, and sometimes it stops. Oh, we shouldn't get lost. Kenneth looked at the reflection rippling on the surface of the lake. Can't wait to get home. I think we're almost there. The fog lifted. The familiar shore appeared on the horizon. Kenneth was delighted. You're in for a surprise. Kenneth heard barking. He recognized it immediately.
Baloo again?
A moment later, the boat washed ashore. Kenneth dropped the oars and ran. It was Baloo.
So yeah, they've got to be in the afterlife.
He's alive!
Nah, you're just dead.
Not really. Don't you understand?
Gotta say, Kenneth is a bit dim.
But he's right there. Kenneth happily scratched Baloo behind the ear, gradually accepting new circumstances. So we're like him?
We're dead?
Something like that. Not that I'm used to it myself. Kenneth started to cry. And Mom? I don't know. Esme looked down. I miss her. As if having remembered something, Esme decided to distract Kenneth from his sad thoughts. Follow me! Esme was pushing Kenneth until they reached their place, under a large oak tree that stood in the middle of a wheat field not far from the house. We're in Little Haven, only it's somehow not that gloomy? Yes. Kenneth was so intrigued by the new, old world that he took the initiative from Esme. And what do we have at home? Follow me. Oh, I haven't been there yet. Oh, why? I was too scared to go alone, but now I can't even remember what I was afraid of.
Considering you're the ghost now, dear.
Kenneth and Esme ran into the plot, past the pier, and headed straight for the house. Suddenly, they both stood rooted to the spot. They heard a very familiar voice. It was Mother's singing. As soon as they approached the house, their mother came to the doorstep. I saw you through the window. She hugged Kenneth and Esme tightly.
Aww.
Mother was shining in the sun. The children would hardly remember her like this. I managed to sort out a bit how things work here.
So, because of the fact it's the afterlife and everybody's dead, time has no meaning.
I'm so glad I'm here. Mom, don't cry. It's okay, sugar. And Dad, will he get here? If he's not here already, he won't.
So this is like more of the innocent, good side of the afterlife.
There was a slight tension.
I mean, yeah, of course the children are going to be there. Children are innocent.
However, it could not last long in such a beautiful place. Who wants pancakes? Who wants pancakes? Who wants pancakes? Kenneth? A bright light struck Kenneth in the eyes. He opened his eyes. Carrie, he's awake. Doctor,
Oh, so he almost died.
don't worry, my little one. Everything's going to be okay.
Oh, he was so close to paradise.
Grandma and I won't leave you. Kenneth woke up and could barely see the silhouettes. Voices blurred in the air. It smelled like hospital and Mom's pancakes there.
Okay, so that's kind of a sadder ending because being so close to like afterworld dead paradise and then having it ripped away because they saved your life in the hospital. So that's 2 endings. There's supposed to be 8. So which one is that? That comes from Escape.
Chapter Escape. When Kenneth left the house to find his sister, the sun was still just breaking through.
So yeah, once you go all the way back to the beginning.
Chapter When Kenneth left the house, having circled the village of
Searching for his sister.
She wasn't even in their place and
Went to the
desperate.
house.
He
Searched
he
Trizzle.
turned around to the sound of wet. Kenneth was angry, but his sisters, "Where have you been? I was looking all..." "Sorry, I didn't mean to."
So she's soaked and
"Come
shabby.
on, the hurricane's coming."
Meanwhile,
Kenneth
hurricane
took
is
his
coming
sister's
with
hand.
everything going on.
"Oh, you're all wet. What happened?" "Oh, I was attacked by a monster. I ran away from it and got lost. Well, now Mom and Dad will think that we ran away." "I'm sorry."
No need to apologize. Just don't do it again. We'll say that.
"No need to apologize. Just don't..." "But You're too old for these fairy tales. You're the one in denial." Esme was soaking wet, and her small steps were... Kenneth stopped and helped Esme. "How did you get so much water in there?"
Did she drown?
"I don't know." After wrapping her in his jacket, "Thanks." The way home was riddled with... Well, it's a good thing. I
All right,
agree.
Fast
Grandma...
forward
Oh,
to the next decision.
do you remember Baloo?
Let's change the topic. We're not gonna get into all that.
Probably on Christmas. What? Grandma's probably coming for Christmas. She always comes.
Change that subject.
Is that soon? Well, after the snow falls and a bit of a waiting, when the decorating is finished. At that moment, they had almost reached the plot, surrounded by a fence, looking fairly battered after all the years. As soon as they crossed it, something frightened Esme.
I'll fast forward again to the next decision.
"Well, it's going to be okay. Come on." "But he will come at night."
Let's hurry on home instead of going to the shed.
"Oh, let's go home. Enough monsters for today." Esme frowned. "I bet Mom made your favorite pancakes with jam." "Pancakes? Liar." "So, you believe in monsters, but not in pancakes?" Kenneth always felt a special responsibility for Esme. One day, she hurt her knee, and he carried her home for several miles. Even now, Kenneth's heart sank as he saw Esme recklessly walking through the wild grass.
Oh.
Careful, don't cut yourself. Yeah, okay. The light was on in the living room. They could see the silhouettes of people. Esme, inappropriately giggling, commented on the delay. Oh, someone's in trouble.
Said the dead girl.
If someone hadn't run away from home and dragged me into this. Esme's face momentarily changed, so Kenneth was embarrassed for his words. Oh, I said I was sorry. But no one was waiting for them on the doorstep. Kenneth carefully opened the door, looked around, and saw his parents talking to some man in a formal outfit, looking somewhat like a policeman.
Uh-oh. Piggy's at home.
Thunder rumbled.
I still can't take that seriously.
I'm sorry, but we had to do this. Why all this? What are we supposed to do? How much longer will you be taking over here? Well, I'm done here. The test results will be tomorrow.
Homeboy kind of looks like a Nazi.
It's a routine procedure. You have no cause for worry.
Sus.
Sorry to bother you. Just doing my job.
Double sus.
Kenneth had heard only fragments of their conversation when his father noticed him and signaled him to go upstairs to his room with a quick nod.
The old.
He heard that Dad had problems at work, but for the police to come to their house, this was a first. Kenneth guessed that something had been stolen at Dad's work again, so they checked practically everyone. Kenneth and Esme slipped into their room on the second floor. In the room, there was a glass of milk and a plate of pancakes on the table waiting for them.
But only one glass of milk.
Kenneth took the wet jacket off Esme, rubbed her hair with a thin blanket, and sat her down at the table. Here, you should eat. Oh, thank you. They're quite cold, though. Do you want me to go downstairs and warm them up? Oh, no, they're delicious. Thanks.
Alright, so I think we've gotten past the variant, so let's fast forward again to the next choice.
Why, have you ever seen it? Oh, the monster? Yep.
No, never.
Well, I haven't seen it. And if you had, would you tell anyone? I don't know. Why? Well, probably because no one would believe me. Oh, that's stupid. How come?
Said the girl no one believed.
Why doesn't anyone believe me? I really did see it.
I don't believe because they haven't seen it.
Well, they don't believe you because they haven't seen it. Chapter Murphy's.
Okay, so we did open up a different chapter.
Kenneth fell asleep from exhaustion while sitting on the floor, but a few minutes later was awoken by Esme. Oh, it's not true. Kenneth was tired of Esme's antics and was getting angry with her. Oh, what's not true? Well, it's not true that no one saw him. I saw drawings of him in the attic. What drawings? Well, the same as in my diary. Well, what could that mean? Esme defiantly folded her arms and frowned.
Ooh.
And now wait, how did you get into the attic? It's never been opened. Well, I was careful. Where did you get the key? Esme handed him Dad's set of keys.
Oh, that's an ass beating right there.
What have you done? Where'd you get them? Dad will be furious. Well, I got them from his closet while you were sleeping.
That's not a red flag at all.
They heard a noise coming from the shed at the pier. Esme didn't waste time and expressed the most expected thing. Oh, it's a monster! Oh, I saw it out the window. It's there again. Behind the door, they heard their father's rapid footsteps. He ran into the parents' bedroom, which was right next to their room. Kenneth was peeping through the half-open door. Dad took out a hunting rifle and ran down the stairs, slamming the front door behind him. It seemed he was drunk.
Nothing like a hunting rifle and alcohol. World's best combination.
Kenneth slipped out to the door of the attic and began picking out the right key.
Opportunity. It's gotta be one of these keys. Of course, last one.
Thunder rumbled.
That always makes me laugh.
Kenneth unlocked the door to the attic. Well, where were the keys? Oh, in the box. Well, where exactly? Oh, please, hurry. Dad's coming.
They were in the box with all his old school nudie mags.
Without waiting for an answer, Kenneth ran into the parents' bedroom, put the keys under one of the tables, and ran back to his room. Mother's voice came from downstairs. Son, come down, please.
Uh-oh.
Kenneth went downstairs. Mom was sitting in a chair near the TV, broadcasting generic white noise. Judging by the bags under her eyes, he hadn't slept in a while.
Damn, why you gotta call her out like that?
Mom, is everything okay? Mom looked devastated. She could hardly smile. I wanted to ask you the same thing. You're such a good boy.
Uh-oh.
Kenneth was embarrassed. "Come to me." It seemed Mother wanted to say something but couldn't get the words out, so she hugged Kenneth tightly instead, like a rag doll.
Aww.
The front door swung open.
Uh-oh. Drunk Dad.
Kenneth took a few steps back. Father came in the living room with the rifle over his shoulder, holding a blood-stained carcass of a fox by the tail.
Because that's what was in the shed.
"Well, I finally managed to catch this beast. It's been running from me for ages."
Damn.
Dad threw the carcass on the floor in front of Brenda and Kenneth.
Oh, why they have to make the fox look all cute and cartoony? That's not fair.
Kenneth noticed that the fox was still moving, but he didn't show it. "Baloo used to hunt them down." Father went to the fridge, took out a beer bottle, and took a couple of sips. "Oh, he was a great dog. He could cling to the throat and not let go till the end."
Damn.
"Stop it." "Right, Kenneth?"
Oh. Huh. I think the fox is still alive.
"Well, I think the fox is still alive." Father threw down an appraising look. "Yeah, you're right."
Because I feel like the other comment that you could have learned a lot from him. That's an ass beating right there.
He grabbed the fox and took it outside.
Jesus.
"Well, follow me."
Ah, dang it. Is this going to be one of those, you're a man now?
Kenneth had seen the carcasses of dead animals brought from the hunt, but now he was uneasy.
Because now your old man's going to make you shoot it.
Father went to the shed, turned on the light near it, and took out a rope.
Oh, what the hell?
He tied one end of the rope to some fitment, and on the other made a noose that threw on a paw of the wounded fox. Father handed Kenneth the rifle.
Yep.
"Oh, what for?"
Yeah, you're going to shoot it.
"Well, someone has to do it."
Then you do it, you drunken bastard.
"Why don't you just let it go?" "Oh, it's a goner. Look." "You're just going to ease its suffering." Kenneth looked at the barely alive fox that was gnawing its tied-up paw. Father handed the rifle to Kenneth and put his finger on the trigger.
Yep, it's going to be one of those, you're a man.
"You see the scars on its side? Where do you think they came from?" "Well, I don't know." "Well, Baloo did them while defending our land, but this dirty rat clung to his throat." "Avenge Baloo! Shoot!"
So you're saying, well, this is the fox that killed your dog, so shoot it and be a man.
Kenneth suddenly became filled with anger. He aimed, but immediately put the rifle down. I won't do it." Father took the rifle, put it back on his shoulder, and went into the shed. He came out with a knife and went to the fox, then bent over it, muttering something under his breath.
He's gonna slit its throat and skin it right then and there.
"Easy, easy." A moment later, the fox ran away into the darkness, and Father had a cut noose and a small bite on his hand.
Oh, he let it go.
"Well, I tried to do what's best. I thought it'd make you feel better, you know." Kenneth was silent. Death happens. Happens every moment. There's no escape. You have to learn to let it go, not to live in the past, but to see the present.
Are you talking to your son or yourself there, Bram?
Otherwise, the past will haunt you for the rest of your life, until the last day. It will devour you, piece by piece. Kenneth remembered Baloo, but kept it together, listening to his father's drunken monologue. Are you listening? Yes. This world was killing me, and then I went to war, taking revenge on the world. But it gave me nothing. This world will show no mercy, and if you can't accept that, it'll throw you high into the sky, and then it'll smash you into the ground with all its might.
I mean, he's not lying.
And this will continue forever. I lost my best friend in the war. When I came back, my mother, your grandma, died a couple of years later. How? She got under the press for clothes drying. Kenneth was impressed and depressed at the same time. He didn't know what to say, but he felt the need to try to keep the conversation going. Is it true that this fox killed Baloo? No, I'm sorry.
Just going straight for damn. Thought you'd do that to get your son to shoot a fox. At least now you're coming clean.
Well then, why did you tell me that? I could have killed an innocent animal. Well, I thought it'd make you feel better. Let go of the past and all. About Baloo, you seem to have forgotten, even though it's happened recently. He had a huge tumor in his belly. He just couldn't bear it. So we had to put him down. Go inside. This was Kenneth's first sincere conversation with his father. Kenneth went to his room. After entering the room, Kenneth saw Esme sitting on the floor and staring aimlessly out the window. Can't sleep? Kenneth sat down next to her. Nope. Why aren't you sleeping?
Because I just had a traumatizing bonding experience with our dad.
Yeah, I can't either. Did the fox run away?
Oh, rather than saying monster, she actually referred to it as fox.
Well, how did you know about it? Oh, I peeked out the window. I did. Pity. About the fox? The fox too. Who are you talking about? Poor Dad.
From him bearing his soul like that for a second.
Why pity him? I don't know. He's always so grumpy and angry. Esme was about to cry. I wouldn't want to be angry and sad. Poor Mom. And poor you. Poor everyone. Esme burst into tears. Kenneth rushed to hug her. Oh, it's okay. Don't cry. But why is he so angry? How come?
Maybe something made him that way.
Oh, well, maybe something made him that way. Maybe. I want to sleep, but I can't. Stupid day. Well, let's play. I have a riddle for you. If you can't guess, you'll try to sleep again. Oh, sure. But if I guess, I'll ask you a riddle too. What if I don't guess? Esme's brow furrowed, showing a complex thinking process. Nothing. Oh, I don't know. Deal. Why do lions eat raw meat? Oh, it's easy. They have paws. They can't cook anything. Oh, you've heard this riddle before. Now it's your turn. Sad and beautiful, but not me. Oh, is that your riddle? Yes, it is. Answer me.
Sad and beautiful, but not me. Is it Mom?
Is it Mom? Yes. How did you know?
Because Mom is sad.
Well, that's an easy riddle. I guess. Esme yawned and stretched herself. Kenneth approached his bed and spread the blanket. Oh, go to bed. It's late. What about you? I'll guard the house for Monster. Kenneth waited for Esme to fall asleep and carefully left the room, closing the door behind him.
Is it time to go to the attic?
Chapter Ram.
So does this... 1, 2, 3, 4. But there's supposed to be 8 endings. Huh. You know what? It's already been 2 hours. I'm going to call this here. I will do a second video for Monsters of Little Haven. But right now I need to go collect my Amazon packages and have myself something to eat. And yeah, I will follow up with this. And yeah, I will end this video here, do a second video, put them both on Twitch, do it live on Twitch, and then put them directly onto my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for joining me today and for having the patience to go through all of that. You can find me as Miss Rob Games on Twitch, Miss Rob on YouTube, and you can also find me on Instagram as both Bunny Rabbit and as Miss Rob for Miss Rob Games. Alright, so thank you so much for joining me today, and yeah, I will see you on the next one. Be good.